first time you use your BrewRO system, there's a few things you need to do before you hook it all together. The very first thing you need to do is open the case and inspect every tube connection. You're going to go through and you're just going to push in against the connection because they're a resistance connection to make sure that they're seated properly. And it's a good practice to do this every time you're going to use it. The next thing you need to do is go ahead and grab the hose that was supplied inside of the BrewRO system when it arrived and make sure that you have the white, blue, and the red. Now, the color coding is pretty simple. The white is going to be directly from the faucet, whether it's inside or outside. The red is going to be the rejected water, red for rejected, and the blue is going to be your clean, reverse osmosis water that you'll be using for your brew day. We're going to simply and easily put the white into the white until it pops in there. We're going to do the same for the blue and for the red. The first time you use it and every time you set it up, you're going to put the blue and the red ends inside the sink. Now don't put them down the drain, just go ahead and rest them in there. And if you're outside, make sure you have a place to put all of the runoff water, like a spare bucket. I find that using a chip clip works really well for putting the tubing in here because you want to make sure that it stays above, just like inside in the sink, not going below the surface of the water. And the white, you're going to choose, if you brew inside, to attach with this faucet adapter. I'm going to place this over, and then I'm just going to simply pop this on. It's really easy, and then tighten it on. Remove your aerator. Now if the attachment doesn't fit, you're going to want to use one of the adapters. Mine fits just fine, so I'm going to screw this on. If you brew outside, you're going to simply slip this on, see how it pops on, and this will then screw into your garden hose. Make sure it's connected directly to the wall, or that you're using an RV marine rated hose that's good for potable water. You don't ever want to use a green garden hose. Now I can go ahead and turn this on full blast, and as I slowly turn this around, it's going to taper down and start to flood the system. I'm going to do it halfway at first. It's really important to check for leaks the first time you use this, and really any time it's good to just go ahead and leave this open and observe. Now if you can see, the red tube is spitting out a lot more water than the blue tube. There's a lot more refused water than there is RO water that you're going to be putting in. Okay, we've been running for about 5 minutes at low pressure, but I'm going to slowly turn up the dial so we're now at full pressure. You can really hear it going through there. Now the very first time you use your BrewRO system, you're going to want to let this run for 30 full minutes before you use any of the water. It's because we want to clean out the filters, get any sediment, anything in the lines cleaned out. Now that I've done the initial setup, I ran it for 30 minutes, I've cleaned everything out, I'm ready to start collecting water for brew day. So I'm going to leave the red in the sink and I'm going to put the blue into my vessel. Now you can do it into your tank, or if you went ahead and opted for an auto shutoff valve, you could maybe be going into a pail. That's up to you. Okay, it's been a couple hours and now I have all of the water that I need for brew day. I've gone ahead and shut off the valve, and now I need to drain the system so that I get every bit of water out. I'm going to leave it to depressurize for 5 minutes. Now that that's done, I'm going to remove the tubing. So I push in and the tubes come right out. See? Okay, I've set all my tubing in the sink to drain, and I'm going to close up the system and I'm going to set it on its side, valve ports down, to go ahead and drain for another 10 or so minutes. All right, so we're done draining and we're ready for long-term storage. Very last thing we're going to do is we're going to take these pieces, they look kind of like golf tees, and we're going to stick them inside each of these valve ports. Your BrewRO system is ready to store until the next brew day. Have fun.